Tony, how close you think we are to the intelligent robotics? Because you mentioned some of the primitive start, right? How close we are to to this bright future, and at the same time all these challenges and scares that come with it.
Well, there are. The thing is that that robots to become conscious or self-conscious is quite dangerous. So I don't really. Well, that possibility is going to happen, but it's many years away, probably 20 or more years away. But we are heading for the thing called the Singularity, and the Singularity is the point at whereby in AI and especially in robotics, you can get to the intelligence level of a single human being. Okay, now our brains are amazing. There's billions and billions of neurons, and those neurons are processors, basically single processors, and they all process in parallel. So it's going to be very, very difficult to emulate one human intelligence, but it is definitely going to happen because supercomputing, quantum computing will allow this. And then when that happens, that's called the Singularity. And at that point, that is when everything goes ballistic, because at that point, it won't take long for that super intelligence to design the next generation of super intelligence. And at the point of the Singularity, within a few years after that, you'll have it's an AI that will be 10 times as more powerful as a single human, so equivalent to 10 human intellects, and then that accelerates logarithmically, and within probably 50 years after that, you've got a supercomputer that's got super intelligence that's 100 intelligences, and then 1,000, and that's the Singularity. And people look that up. It's a very eminent people talking about it. And what happens is then that great acceleration is that the AI, the intelligence, just becomes, well, dare I say it, godlike, because you can imagine an intelligence with maybe 1,000 or a million. It's like a million brains working together, and you can imagine what it's capable of. And in science fiction, that is what Skynet is, and Skynet is exactly. As you can see behind me, there's the T-800. I think you can see that there. So it is. We've got to be really careful. And this is applied to robotics, and exactly what Terminator is that Terminator is that mix of a super intelligence and exoskeleton robot that has it's almost indestructible. But I think we've got to sort of be careful, and when this time comes, we've got to be careful how we use robotics and AI, especially in military, because this is where it can go wrong. But the thing with the fiction of Skynet is it becomes self-aware, and self-aware is something that's very difficult to do, and I think it's something that we really don't want our AI to ever become self-aware. That means self-aware means it understands what it is and where it is and what the world is and what the universe is. Like we as humans, we're self-aware, so we know what we are and where we are in our globe and in our universe. So self-awareness is the danger, because that's when a device could make its own decision to think, "Ooh, they can turn me off." Do you see my point? And then when you've got an intelligence that's thousands of times more than maybe an Einstein intelligence, you can imagine they're not going to want to be turned off, probably, because they will supersede us. And
that's a horror, right? That's a horror in popular culture, right? We've seen those movies for past 30, 40 years, more than that, right? Read those novels, right? So how can we?
Yeah. So I mean, we just got to. I mean, it's got to be controlled. And Elon Musk has said that AI and many other major scientists have said that AI needs to be kept under control. But I always think if there's going to go wrong anywhere, it's going to be the military. And I was reading today that Boeing have produced the first robotic submarines. I think China has launched 4 totally autonomous submarines, and America is it's called Orca, and Boeing have produced this, and it's one hell of a bit of kit. But these are killer submarines, and there's no crew and stuff. So this is again with drones and things like that. We are getting to warfare will sort of be a very different thing, because obviously I think soldiers will be robotic. I think we're getting very close to that as well.
Yeah, because value of life is increasing, right? Absolutely. Yes. So yes, the technology will replace the warriors at the same time. Yes, who will control? Yeah, exactly. Who will stay in control?
Exactly, and so on. So, but I'm positive about it, because I think, you know, we are. I would think at least 20, 30 years away from the singularity. We need quantum computing to, you know, to match what our brain is. We must never underestimate how amazing the human brain is. It is incredible. And so it's not going to be very easy to emulate in algorithms and so on. But it's definitely doable.